In this episode, we discuss the future of organization development, including what you can do as an OD change leader to best prepare and ready yourself for the next decade of disruption. Welcome to another episode of All Things OD, where I'm here to help you offer more, be more, and live more, whether you're serving as an OD practitioner, change management professional, or business transformation consultant. I'm your host, Randall Scott, and it's great to be with you here today. As mentioned in today's episode, we're going to discuss key emerging trends and driving forces that are shaping and influencing OD change work. We're going to also discuss key emerging technologies that are shaping and influencing how we do OD change work. We'll discuss how artificial intelligence will disrupt OD change work in the next decade, and we'll discuss what you can do as an OD change leader to ready yourself to capitalize on such change. Now, before we begin, I want to offer you a free resource that complements this discussion, which is a free 90-minute workshop on 10 strategies that you can use to elevate, revitalize, and transform your career. If you've been wanting to develop yourself professionally, but lacked either the time or money, then this capability development training is for you. You can access the free training at henosispartners.com/workshop, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can click on the link in the description below. All right, let's jump in. The first thing that we'll look at is the emerging trends and driving forces that are shaping and influencing OD change work, beginning with how such trends and forces are changing the why of our work. Now, while it is true that there are trends and driving forces that are changing the why of our work, some things remain constant. In a LinkedIn survey that I conducted in January 2023 across multiple OD change groups that represented over 600 respondents, 47% responded that their why of OD is to help others succeed, that it's about coaching others and being the best coach that they can be. 46% responded that their why of OD is to contribute, to make an impact in the organizations that they're working for. 5% responded that their why of OD is about the money, to build wealth, and 2% responded in other ways. And so as this chart indicates, despite all the external driving forces that are changing what we do and how we do it within the OD change world, some things remain constant, as our desire to help others succeed and coach others effectively, and about contributing, about making an impact in the organization that we work for and the broader OD change community. Now, having said that, there are elements of the why of our work that are indeed changing. We live in a world of profound disruption, where certain things are dying and other things still indistinct are being born, and a tremendous opportunity exists for each of us to offer more, be more, and live more, to broaden our horizons and apply our skill sets to help our communities, our regions, our nations, and broader humanity to solve their complex adaptive challenges. And so what I'm speaking to here is extending OD beyond just the concern of organizations, also referred to as boundaryless OD, to address all manner of social issues and complex challenges at the scale of community, ecosystem, nation, and planet. I'm suggesting that a tremendous opportunity exists to amplify other voices, to assist the marginalized in the world. Helping organizations be all that they can be is great, but your legacy and lifetime impact can extend way beyond organization or what you even had envisioned for your life. Another example of how the why of our work is changing is that there's a growing movement of OD practitioners formerly identifying as traditional diagnostic OD or change practitioners that are now identifying as a system leader. That is, someone who's equipped to design, host, and facilitate a collective leadership amongst diverse others within transformative change events, processes, and platforms. Now, in addition to the why of our work changing, the what of our work is also changing, as there's a continued convergence or integration of diagnostic, dialogic, and experiential methods into a unified, transformative, strategic learning model and change methodology, also known as the hybrid OD model. And what we are finding is that diagnostic, dialogic, and experiential tools are all needed to solve the complex adaptive and technical challenges of today. If you're interested in the hybrid OD model, you can visit henosispartners.com/hybridod to access a free copy of our ebook on hybrid OD. Another example of how the what of our work is changing is that there's a broadening and deeper integration of OD change methods, tools, and techniques with strategic foresight and scenario planning methods, as the world becomes an increasingly complex and unpredictable world to navigate. And with increased complexity and uncertainty, which affects all aspects of our work and the organizations that we work with, each of us will need to learn and apply a complexity-informed mindset to effectively address the challenges of today. And lastly, there's a continued realization that we need to address inner work, that we must jointly consider head, heart, and hand to transform limiting beliefs and patterns in ourselves and in others to be successful with realizing transformative change. And lastly, the how of our work is changing. We know this to be true as remote work is here and it is here to stay, as the pandemic fueled an increase in the acceptance of virtual interactions, and this will only grow over time. And because of this, there's an increased need for each of us to learn, adapt, and master multiple different digital communication and design tools to perform our work. The other consideration is that those born into Gen Z or Gen Alpha will likely have an expectation and insistence on working remote. Another aspect of how our work is changing is due to the accelerated proliferation and experimentation with multiple kinds of digital tools, such as digital canvas tools, team collaboration tools, and virtual design tools. To be successful with OD change work in the future, we will need to learn of such tools and be proficient in using them. Another significant emerging trend and driving force that's shaping the how of our work is that we are now operating in the age of AI. Increasingly, bots are capable of not only augmenting what we do, but also have the potential to take over what we do. And the breadth and the depth of AI applications will only continue into the future. Another significant emerging trend and driving force that's shaping the how of what we do is that we are now also operating within the age of the Metaverse, which reflects a rise of virtual places and digital spaces to both augment and immerse ourselves into when conducting our work. And within 10 years' time, we could be performing the bulk of our work in a Metaverse type of environment. And lastly, we're operating in an age of nano learning that is characterized by us needing to curate and create snackable content, that is, content that could be consumed within 2 to 10 minutes, whether an article, podcast, or blog. The age of nano learning is also characterized by learning in the flow of work, that is, within our 9 to 5, as opposed to participating in long and protracted training events. And lastly, the age of nano learning is characterized by identifying practice fields of opportunity to role model, that is, to bring forth the new. And so each of us as OD change practitioners need to acknowledge all aspects of how our work is changing and respond appropriately. Next, we look at how emerging technology is shaping and influencing OD change work. And as briefly mentioned, one technology that has the potential to significantly shape and influence OD change work is artificial intelligence tools. And so it's important as an OD change practitioner to not only be familiar with what tools exist, but perhaps start integrating them into your daily work. So for example, there are some sense-making AI tools like SenseMaker and Sprockler. And some of the key use cases when using these tools is to help you auto-sense and make meaning, that is, to help generate insights when conducting narrative research or harvesting stories. Both tools are effective in making meaning of dialogically derived data. And such meaning making and insight generation then can be used as a source input when hosting and facilitating a dialogically based generative change event. In addition to using sense-making AI tools, there are also generative content creation AI tools tools such as ChatGPT and Google Bard. With these tools, some of the use cases might be to leverage them to auto-create training content, to provide auto-chat-based type of coaching, both individual and team, and to maybe auto-personalize and deliver change communications across an enterprise. In addition to becoming familiar with AI tools and starting to integrate AI tools into your daily work, you may want to also consider integrating the use of the Metaverse design tools into your daily work. And there are a couple good examples of this today. Virbela and Remo are leading Metaverse-based design tools that can help you with your daily work. For example, they can help you with designing virtual problem-solving and capability training workshops. Such tools can be used as a home base for social innovation labs, processes, and platforms. And such tools can be used to host your Dialogic generative change events where you might be using, for example, the World Cafe, the open space method, or appreciative inquiry. Increasingly, as I mentioned, the Metaverse is going to play a more prominent role when performing OD change work. And so now is the time to get familiar with using tools like Virbela or Remo in the work that you do. Another emerging technology that's shaping and influencing OD work is the use of workshop and innovation sequence design tools. And one tool seems to stand out above the crowd, which is a tool called Session Lab. Session Lab is a great tool that can help you design sophisticated events and workshops. And there are hundreds of workshop activities to choose from to create your custom workshop design. And when using the tool, you'll find that there are a number of pre-built templates to help accelerate your design efforts. Yet another emerging technology that's shaping and influencing OD work is the use of digital canvas tools. And there are a number of these tools to choose from, such as Mural, LucidSpark, Miro, Stormboard, Klaxoon, Creately, and ConceptBoard. These represent just a handful of the number of digital canvas tools at your disposal. And with each of these tools, they offer real-time team-based collaboration. They also include hundreds of pre-built templates and canvases that you can use to help facilitate problem-solving events and workshops. And in a way, they also serve as a safe space container for all attendees to participate, even in an anonymous way. And lastly, there's a set of team collaboration tools that also are shaping and influencing OD change work. Tools such as Basecamp, HowSpace, Microsoft Teams, ClickUp, Google Meet, Trello, Asana, Teamwork, and Reiki. With each of these tools, they offer more effective project management. They offer a single source repository for team communications and project artifacts. And it's been my experience that such tools inspire more holistic collaboration and engagement from the teams that I'm working with. So from the rise of AI to the use of these team collaboration tools, there indeed is significant emerging technology that's shaping and influencing OD change work. Next, we discuss how artificial intelligence will disrupt OD in the next decade. And we begin by first discussing diagnostic AI. Diagnostic AI represents those diagnostic activities and tasks that in the future artificial intelligence will either augment or perform entirely. One example is to use AI to auto-sense and make meaning of dialogically derived content, that is, content obtained via interviews, workshops, or story and narrative harvesting, and using such technology to help generate themes and key insights. And in fact, this is already happening today with the tools I had mentioned earlier of SenseMaker and Sprockler. In addition to this use case, AI will be used to auto-generate survey instruments, distribution, analysis, and summary of key themes and insights. There will be virtual character-driven AI that will facilitate focus groups, perform generative scribing, and provide synthesis of key themes, insights, and recommendations from the focus group efforts. There will be auto-gen document crawling, analyzing, and synthesis of as-is organizational content, both unstructured and structured data, internal and external to the organization, content such as video, blogs, documents, social media, and different datasets. AI will be utilized to generate and execute assessments, research studies, and report generation and distribution. AI will be used to help derive problem statement and opportunity statement formulations, and to generate an optimal mix of system-wide stakeholders to maximize cognitive and demographic diversity when hosting and facilitating dialogic-based generative events. And lastly, AI will be used to generate SWOT analyses, STEEP analyses, and conduct benchmarking studies. In many ways, these examples just represent the tip of the iceberg in terms of how AI will disrupt diagnostic OD in the next decade. Next, we consider how AI will disrupt dialogic OD in the next decade. One use case, which is already happening today, is AI-enhanced virtual worlds, aka the Metaverse, to interact and conduct our dialogic-based work. In addition to this, we'll find that AI will auto-generate complexity-informed optimal condition suggestions to maximize the potential for transformative change to occur. AI will also be used to help auto-generate innovation sequences and conversational architectures to maximize the potential to achieve hoped-for change and results. AI will be used to auto-generate event proceedings, generative scribing, real-time report generation and distribution to participants. We will see the rise of AI voice-assisted problem-solving prompts, group exercises, and dynamic next steps facilitation with in-the-moment awareness. We will see AI-assisted visioning of the future through AI-derived strategic foresight and scenario planning. And we'll see AI voice-assisted in-the-moment awareness of conflict resolution and improving team effectiveness. So again, these represent just tip-of-the-iceberg examples of how AI will disrupt dialogic OD in the next decade. And lastly, we look at how AI will disrupt experiential OD in the next decade. One example of how AI will disrupt experiential OD is through the use of auto-generating design of experiments to maximize learning while minimizing costs and organizational risk. We will see auto-generation of agile ceremonies, such as master backlog planning, sprint planning, conducting of retrospectives, and facilitating daily huddles. We'll see the rise of AI-assisted real-time portfolio management of self-organized change initiatives. We'll see virtual character-driven individual and team coaching and AI-driven auto-nudging. We'll also see the rise of AI-suggested opportunities to scale local innovations across the enterprise. We'll also see the rise of virtual character-driven training and coaching of topics such as using or leveraging the Agile framework, of communicating team effectiveness models, and again, designing of experiments. And we'll also see auto-nudging through AI technologies of learn in the flow of work suggestions or opportunities. Again, these examples represent just tip of the iceberg in how AI will disrupt experiential-based OD in the next decade. So the question becomes, what can you do as an OD change leader to help ready yourself to capitalize on such change? Well, one thing you could do is to engage the edges in terms of who. That is, you can learn from the emerging future to transform your present. It is at the edges of things where the greatest innovation and change is occurring. So if you want to be ahead of change, if you want to capitalize on change, it really requires you to engage the edges. And one edge you can engage with is within your organization, at organizational edge. It is at the edges of an organization that we find our innovators, our skunk work teams, and our first adopters. You can learn from such teams. You can learn from such individuals. These people exist within your organization, and I would encourage you to seek them out. Have lunch with them. Learn what they're doing. Learn what they know. Another edge you can engage with is at industry edge. Within each industry, there are your innovators, bringing forth novel products and services. Seek these organizations out, perhaps at different conferences or events. Understand what they're doing. Learn what sort of disruptive technologies or transformations that they're currently engaged in. And lastly, you can engage the broader ecosystem within which your organization and industry operates. Consider what's occurring at the edges of your ecosystem and beyond. What sort of bleeding edge technologies or products or services are being developed at the edges of your ecosystem? Broaden your horizons and efforts to understand the transformations occurring at this level. And whether you're engaging at organization level, industry level, or ecosystem level, the goal is the same, which is to pull insights back from the edges to the present. And in doing that, it will prepare you for multiple plausible futures. To say it differently, the insights that you obtain at the edges of things will help you transform your present to transform your future. Now, in addition to engaging the edges in terms of who, I would also encourage you to engage the edges in terms of what. It's important to acknowledge that not all content is created equal. And what I'm suggesting is for you to be strategic with your time, with what you attend to in life. So to engage the edges in terms of what means to, for example, engage at creator's edge, whereby you become strategic with what blogs and podcasts you listen to. So for example, our podcast, All Things OD, produces content that's at the edge of organization development and change work. So be strategic with which blogs and podcasts you choose to listen to. In addition to that, you can engage the edges at print edge, which is about being strategic with what magazines and books that you read. So I find that Fast Company and MIT Sloan are two examples of magazines that are at the edge of things. An example of a book at the edges of things is our ebook on hybrid OD, which reflects the emerging future of organization development. Another opportunity for you to engage the edges in terms of what is to be strategic with what websites you visit. So for example, at henosispartners.com, you'll find innovative books like Hybrid OD and innovative podcasts like All Things OD. Be strategic with your time and the websites that you regularly visit. And lastly, you can engage at the training edges of things, which speaks to your own professional development. Here again, not all trainings are created equal. For example, at Henosis Partners, we offer 2 digital state-of-the-art certification courses called OD Leadership Reimagined and System Leaders Academy. Both certification courses are definitely at the training edge in terms of OD and change professional development. And regardless of what edge you engage with in terms of the what, the goal is the same, which is to pull insights from the edges back to the present. And in doing this, you will also help prepare yourself for multiple plausible futures. You will prepare yourself to transform yourself in the present, which will serve as the basis then to transform your future. Now, in addition to engaging the edges in terms of who and what, other things that you can do as an OD change leader to help ready yourself to capitalize on the change to come are the following. Educate yourself on emerging technology generally, whether it's about artificial intelligence, the metaverse, or the various digital tools that exist. Relentlessly experiment with new tools and technology. Most digital tools, you can create a free account to get you started. Brainstorm for use cases. Identify the practice fields of opportunity that exist in your world, and then initiate a learn in the flow of work plan. Develop weekly learning goals to practice the new, and leverage a reflective learning journal to capture your learnings along the way. And lastly, you can implement your own early warning system to monitor the signals or signposts of professional disruption. Learn to see around the corners of things. You can do this by focusing on the vital few data sources to learn from the emerging future, whether they be blogs, podcasts, magazines, books, or websites. So the question I have for you is, do you have the skills to compete effectively in the emerging future? Are you prepared for how technology will transform organization development and change work? If your answer is no, I would encourage you to pre-register for our new state-of-the-art digital training course called OD Leadership Reimagined. Our fall 2023 cohort is forming now and seats are limited. For more information on OD Leadership Reimagined and to save your seat, visit henosispartners.com/ODL. Well, that's it for this episode. I hope you found the content in this episode helpful. Please share your comments below, and if you liked this video, hit the subscribe button and click the bell to get notified of all future weekly episodes. Also, don't forget to get your free resource. If you're watching on YouTube, click the link in the description below or visit henosispartners.com/workshop. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode.